Welcome to Stock Shots. Our guest today is 2007 Traders Hall of Fame inductee and founder of BigTrends.com, Price Headley. Price has also been named one of the top 10 market timers by Timer Digest.
Price, thanks for being with us on Stock Shots this morning.
My pleasure.
Price, yesterday was a topsy-turvy day, and we've seen over the last couple of days, we've seen ag roll over, we've seen energy roll over. What is your outlook on oil? Has the big trend in oil been broken?
We think it's kind of a critical test that we're seeing down here on oil. Bottom line is that I don't think it has. I think that basically it is a pullback, but I think it's a pullback within an uptrend. You don't want to see us take out the monthly lows. The main vehicle we use is the USO, which is the United States Oil Fund, to the ETF that you can trade just like a stock. And last month's low on it was 98.62. So far this month we're sitting at 101 with a low at 99.5. So bottom line is it's kind of crunch time, but I think you're going to see it hold and end up snapping back up towards about the 115 to 119 area. So I think it's actually a pretty good buying opportunity in oil for the bigger picture trend followers.
And so that would go for some of the service producers as well, the National Oil Well, Varcos, Baker Hughes, and that group.
Absolutely, that's the sector that we really do like to play, and actually the OIH, which is the ETF based on the oil services stocks, like you mentioned, is we think a relatively safe way to play the sector as opposed to individual stocks, which you can trade, but we like to trade a lot of these ETFs as well for diversifying among multiple stocks within a sector that we like. So OIH is actually on a nice retest point here this month, and so it's a good buy, we think, right here at these current levels. So OIH is at 192 off of a high of 228. So we think it probably snaps back to that area here over the next month or two.
Okay. We had Peter Schiff on our show a couple of months ago, and his comment was that the American consumer is done. Of course, we had awful housing data yesterday. What do you see as far as the American consumer? I know retail has been a very difficult sector to play, but where do you see the consumer and possibly the retail sector?
We have a little bit of a contrarian outlook in that, everybody knows it's been poor, and high oil prices have been driving people away from retail, and you're seeing some of the online players benefit from that. For example, Amazon.com reported good numbers yesterday, and the stock was up over 10%. I think some of those online players may benefit from people staying home a little more and doing some of their ordering online. But at the same time, if you look at the RTH, which is the retail holders ETF that kind of tracks the major retail stocks, while it's been testing, it hit a low around 87 at the beginning of the year, 85 to 87, which 87 is a big number on it because that was a low in 2004, 2005, and 2006. So basically we've tested that twice, and we haven't closed under it on a given month. So again, looking at the big trends, it's actually encouraging that while the S&P and the Dow actually broke the new lows here this past month, the RTH, the retail sector, has not. And actually, if you look at more of a bellwether stock, Walmart, which you think would be the most affected by the average Joe consumer getting hurt by oil prices being so high, Walmart's actually pushing and at around a 52-week high, so and actually a multiple couple-of-year high. So from our perspective, that there's a little bit of unconventional wisdom sometimes when everybody's so negative. You might actually be able to find some opportunities, and Walmart's a stock that we do like, even though it's a battleship. It's one that's actually outperforming in the S&P and the Dow. So we actually are a little more positive, especially I think once you get out of the third quarter. We're not that positive on the overall state of the market right now, but I think once we get past the third quarter, get the election behind us in particular, I think that will have been well discounted regardless of who wins. And then I think we can have a strong couple of months to finish the year regardless of if we pulled back a little more between now and the election.
Yeah, it's been a tricky play. Oftentimes, if I see the market open, I tend to overtrade, and I have been tempted to just basically shut it down so we can get this election behind us.
Yeah, and that's, we talked to a lot of people that they get frustrated. You mentioned overtrading. They get frustrated feeling like they got to be in the game each and every day. And what we always say is that, being a good trader is first being a good observer and knowing when to trade or when not to trade. If you're stuck in more of a trading range scenario, then, you have to back away a little bit. And frankly, that's kind of what you saw in the last week, where we had this really nice downtrend developing, and then, of course, when you saw these regulations put on financial stocks to try to restrict the shorting of those stocks here starting the beginning of this past week, I mean, everybody just started running for cover on the short side, and the financials just shot way up. But I think that that's just a bounce within a bearish trend in the financial sector. I believe that there's still more pain to come, and so we've been telling people, like I told people that my favorite short this year was Merrill Lynch. On the downside, I thought that the brokers were vulnerable and that the financials in general were vulnerable, and nobody really knows what some of these companies have on their balance sheets in terms of all these structured vehicles that get them in some trouble. So we still think that Merrill Lynch is a downside play into the rest of into the fall at least, because I think that it does track what the outlook is for the market, and these brokers have been performing badly well before the market topped last July. The brokers were actually topping at the beginning of 2007 and making a secondary top at a lower high there in about May of 2007. So the brokerage stocks tend to be a leading indicator. You like to follow those and get a taste for what they're telling you about the future of the market. And so far, it's not been a very promising future of the market going forward. I would say that we're still going to be in a downtrend for the overall market here into the fall, and I think you've got to get that opportunity. And that's the great thing about what we do with options, is that we'd love to be able to play the downside and not just be bullish on the market, but rather be also benefiting from these bearish trends as well.
Yeah, one thing that I've seen is oftentimes it goes down faster than you can get it to go up if you own the equity.
That's exactly right. I mean, with the selling, everybody's always worried about a melt down, not a melt up. And so, of course, sometimes those options can get a little expensive because if people are expecting that, a lot of these financial stocks, the Freddie Macs and Fannie Mae's, have been, very high volatility in their option pricing, meaning you're really paying up for that. And so what we'll tend to do is actually buy what we call a deeper in the money option without getting too technical. It's basically more of a stock substitute type of a play where we're not going to get hurt much if volatility happens to drop, but we would benefit still if the stocks keep dropping. So, it's a good way to play. It costs a little bit more than your typical cheapy option play, but I think it's the more sensible choice from a risk-reward perspective. So that's pretty much how we do things at BigTrends.com, is really allowing people to manage that risk and blow out of the trade quickly if it's not working, but if it is working, give yourself a chance to ride on at least part of the position, because those big trends are where you make your best money, especially in options.
For the rest of this great interview, visit our website, www.stockshots.tv. That's www.stockshotz.tv. Thank you for listening.